Hey, everybody. Debbie here. So today I wanted to talk about how can you streamline your business. If you are like most entrepreneurs and creatives out there, you might feel like you're spending hours just trying to get things accomplished. At the end of the day, you just wonder where your time went. Well, stick with me because I'm going to show you some super simple, uh, if I can say it, I'm going to show you some super simple tips that you can implement in your business to streamline things. And it's not techie or anything like that, and it's going to make a huge difference in your business. So let me share my screen here, and I've got a little simple diagram to show you, and we'll just jump in. Okay, so how do you streamline your business? The first thing is what I call automation. Now, let me just make this a little bigger so you can read it. When we say automation, sometimes you can use software to do it, but sometimes it's just can you automatically do something the same way over and over again? So, what can you automate in your business? And if you are using the beautiful all in one platform, Go High Level, it makes it super easy to build in these automations. So, what am I talking about? Things like, let me see if I can get my little pen here. Um, Yep, let me get this. So things like how to automatically send those welcome emails, or you have a post on your social media and you ask people, you invite them to comment below, so you could automatically set up direct messages to go out to them, or somebody opts into your lead magnet. Super easy to set up automations on the back end. So just imagine having your business automated, so a lot of these routine things that you're doing over and over again will just happen in the background. That will save you hours of time right there. What's another way that you can automate your business? By looking at what we call SOPs and delegation. So SOPs just stands for standard operating procedure. Now, before we get too geeky here, let me just tell you, anytime I do something more than twice, I start thinking to myself, okay, how can I come up with a standard process for this? And you can implement this in your life. The reason it's so important to create these little SOPs is it gives you a structured process. So in other words, let me take a YouTube video process, for instance. An easy SOP, there's certain steps that I go through. I record the video. Step one. Step two, I do the editing. Step three, I pass it on to my VA. Step four, he creates the thumbnail. And there's a separate SOP on this thumbnails. Boy, that's hard to say. So do you see what I mean by creating simple little SOPs? It doesn't have to be complex, but if you find yourself doing something over and over again, stop and write down the steps, because another huge advantage is it reduces decision fatigue. So when you sit down to do a process, you never have to think about how to do it again. You've already made those decisions. Even things like naming your files. How are you going to name all of your YouTube videos? Well, my little SOP is my original videos always start with like YT for YouTube, and a brief little name of it and maybe a date afterwards. Okay. It doesn't matter what it is, make those decisions ahead of time, and then it's super easy. And the most beautiful thing is, again, we're talking about streamlining our business here, is once you have figured out the steps and the end result of little processes, it's super easy to pass on to other people. And actually, my YouTube thumbnails was the very first thing that I passed on to a VA when I was first getting started in my business. All right, so what else can we do? Think about coming up with a content bank and FAQs. So, what do I mean by that? Are there certain things that you say over and over again, or certain captions that you like to use in your sales pages or your social media? Maybe it's certain CTAs, a certain way that you like to invite people to book a call with you. Okay. The same thing with email templates. If you're running a new campaign, really, you could kind of reuse the same email templates. So start building this bank. Another thing here to pay attention to is when you start crafting your content bank, it gives you that consistent brand voice. So instead of sitting here scratching your head, what do I want to use for my CTAs, or how do I start my emails? When you already have this bank built, it's consistent and you're using the same phrases. And the beautiful thing, when you have this content bank built, you can reuse, recycle, repeat, because again, in your business, you're going to find that it's pretty much standard. Let me move my head here because I think I'm getting into the sunshine. There you go. So you're going to find that it's similar kinds of pieces that you're using over and over again. So think about that. The FAQs, you're going to find that people pretty much have the same type of question regardless of what product or service that you're offering. So start building those FAQs so that you can reuse those. That's going to streamline your business a lot. So what else do we have? Batch create. Now you might have heard this, or maybe it's a new idea for you. There's You can capitalize on your momentum. What do I mean by that? Think about like a factory. When they gear up, they're going to be producing a new line of cars or something. They call it retooling. It takes this back end process to get everything up, ready to go. But then once they turn the lines on, it's just super easy to pump those things out. So for you, instead of sitting down creating one social media post per day, do you see how you have to kind of rev up, get your mind in the same, the right place, get whatever tools, all that kind of stuff together, versus if you block out 4 hours on your calendar every week, or maybe every month you block out an entire day and you do a batch create. Do you see how you can build that momentum? You're in the groove. You know where all of your images are. You can grab them. You can go to your content bank and grab some of that. So you are going to capitalize on that momentum. The other thing is, when you're doing batch creation, you'll have some focused themes. And I say focused theme months, or it could be weeks. So when I work with my clients and my students, we try to figure out, okay, what is it that we're working on for this quarter or this month? And that is our focus. So everything that we're talking about, everything we're sharing on social media, any digital assets that we're creating, it all goes back to that theme. And again, we don't have to sit here, scratch our head. What am I going to talk about today? Well, we already know that this month we're talking about something. All right. And the beautiful thing, when you do this batch create, you will always have some content sitting there in the bank, because let's face it, life happens, especially if you're an entrepreneur. So, the kids get sick, or you got to take Granny to the doctor, or maybe you want to go on vacation. What a lovely feeling knowing that you've got this, your creation, your social media, your videos, all of that stuff, it's already done, sitting there just ready to be published. What else can we do to streamline our business? Our dear friend AI. So, are you using AI? You should start using it every day. If you're new to using AI, don't feel intimidated. Hop into my Digital Business Academy. We're going to start really digging down into how AI is your new little teammate, your new little buddy. And there's so many things you can do with AI, but just think about having your little assistant go out and get you some content ideas and to start building some outlines for you. Okay. So check, that's super easy. The other thing is create your what I call custom AI background info. So it's like a content bank, but it's something that you use when you're working with AI. So when you start new projects with AI, you kind of have to start over, at least this point in time. You have to let it know who your ideal audience is, what products or services do you offer, all of that background information. So if you create a little portfolio, so to speak, of who you are, who you help, what your services are, you just grab it and feed it into the AI bank for that project, and it just makes things go so much quicker. What else can you use AI for? You could summarize like long articles. You could grab transcripts of things. So let's say you've signed up for a workshop. It's easy to grab the transcript and have AI summarize it for you. You could use it to contextualize content. Again, you're watching something on YouTube. If you grab the transcript and say, "Hey, can you help me really kind of pull this apart and see what's behind the scenes," so that you can then apply that to your business. All right. Is that making sense? Okay, so let me zoom out here just a little bit. So, how can you streamline your business? Learn to put automations into your business, create those SOPs, and then you're ready to delegate. And just a little side note on delegation: don't wait until you're making $1 million. You need delegation now. As soon as I started delegating, just using a VA or using Freelancer or Fiverr, that's a type of delegation, my business started exploding. Okay, create your content bank, FAQs, all of the kinds of stuff that you can reuse, recycle, and repeat. Think about doing some batch creation. So let me know in the comments. I'd like you to make a decision. Are you going to batch create once a week or once a month? Let me know when you're going to do it. And capitalize on the AI. Make sure that AI is your new buddy. Okay. AI should be working with you every day. It's your team member. she shows up, she's ready to work. So make sure that you invite her in. So I hope that helped. Which one of those was your favorite? Let me know in the comments. And hey, by the way, if you have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.